Slab leak detection. Well, if people have had foundation work done, does that mean they've got slab leak problems? Well, it could be. These are actually signs that foundation work has been done. In this video, I want to talk about things that you need to be looking for and why that's important. Now, as a home buyer, you buy a house that's had foundation work done. Should you do a sewer water test? Should you do a hydrostatic test? Abso-freaking-lutely. Here's why. This homeowner bought the house. The house was already in their name. Then they did the sewer water test and found out they had plumbing problems. That's right, the sewer line. The sewer line leaked. And every time we go a little bit further, we find a little bit more. So let's go check out the things that we had to do the sewer water test and to make sure everything's right as we go along. Guys, we have a voicemail message set up. We'd love for you to call, leave us your voice comment. We're gonna put it into a video. We might put it in several videos, you never know, but I wanna hear what you're thinking about the trades. What's it like getting in? What's it like on the jobs that you do? Maybe you ran into something crazy today and you just want somebody to talk to about it. That number is 972-246-8922. Send me a message. I'd love to hear from you. So as you see, and as you know, we start right here at the meter. What we do is turn the meter off after we've put a gauge on inside the house. So after we get a gauge on inside the house, we want to know what's the pressure. Now when we turn this off, we actually watch that pressure for 15 minutes. Thanks to my Luminox watch, I know how long that is. But we check it for 15 minutes. We want to see if it drops. Now, we'll walk up here in a minute to the cleanouts, but this will actually test the entire house. So once we know it either holds or it doesn't, we know what to do next. If it doesn't hold, we need to turn off the valve box so we can isolate the house from the yard. So let's step up there to the valve box. So like I told you, we start at the meter, turn it off. If it fails, the next thing we want to do is check out the valve box. Now, if they don't have one, you may need to install a valve. Or if they've got an old gate valve, you may need to change that out to put in a full port ball valve. Now we like that because now what we can do is we can put a gauge on inside the house, open the meter, get it up to full pressure. Now we can turn it off here at the valve box. With this valve off, if the pressure drops inside, well, now we know the pressure's under the house or something inside the house. If we turn it off and it doesn't leak, now we know it's probably out here in the yard. Now, what we could do is actually install another gauge on this side of the valve and test this just to double check to make sure. Now, we're here in Texas, so literally, look at our valve. It's not very deep. We will fill this hole with pea gravel, put our valve box in, cover it up. You'll have the hose bib rising up over here. So this is about what it looks like. This is how you isolate the yard service from the house just to make sure you can determine exactly where the leak is. Okay, so sometimes you have to do something different. They had a one-way clean out here, or actually a two-way clean out that was buried up under the fence. So we had to dig this up, get new cleanouts in here because we're trying to test up here to slab level. We want to make sure there's not a break underneath it. So what we did is we installed new two-way cleanouts. The reason we need to do this, we need to actually be able to put a test ball right between. If you've seen the other videos that I do where I talk about sewer isolation and how we do it, we need to put a test ball right between these. Reason being, we want to open this one. Smells like sewage. We want to be able to open this one to fill up under the house. We want to be able to open this one to look down in it to see if any water is coming past it. So when we put our test ball in through here, put it right here in the center, fill it up with water, we want to make sure no water is going past it. This is a big deal because if we're testing the house and water is leaking by, we don't want to think we're looking for a leak up under the house when really it's just leaking past our test ball. Now, I know they make a one-way clean out. I don't like those near as much. I love the two-way. That way I can put the test ball right where I want it and double check to make sure it's not leaking. With the two-way clean out, we can also run a camera towards the city main to see what does the yard service look like. Now this one literally goes down right here and right up under the street, not that far. So we're really not worried about the main too much. We're more worried about what's under the house. And this one did fail. So we had to go inside, make a hole in the floor, tunnel over to it and make a repair. Let's see what happened there. Okay, so sometimes you got to make holes in the concrete. That's not something that we want to do, but we understood that we found a leak several feet in. We had to tunnel over to it to make the repair. Now, here's the bad thing, and this is something that does happen. we actually found more than one leak. Now, due to where the leak was, we could not find the second leak till the first one was fixed. Now, that's always a problem because when you have to tunnel over to make a repair, after you've told them that you found a leak 20 feet in, they're not always happy about that. And I completely understand. That's why you want to make sure that you word things to where people understand. Look, we're in here trying to fix the leak. We have found one leak. We're going to fix it. It's a possibility there is another one. Sometimes you need to make people aware of that. Now, we hate that it works that way, but sometimes you've got to tell people that. So we made one repair, then we made another one. Come on under and I'll show you what they look like. So what we found when we isolated everything was room here leaking. Now, as you can see, we have rebuilt most of it. CT adapters back here and back here because we actually found a break right here on this combination. So we cut it out, rebuilt the whole thing. Now, here's what the problem is. After we built that and fixed it, we figured out that there was a leak over this way too. So what we did is we dug 4 more feet, tunneled over, got everything over to come over to the washing machine box. So right back here, we've got the toilet, we've got the bathtub and everything. We thought we were okay right here, but we had to come ahead and go over further to get all the way over to the washing machine box. Well, right now, we're actually waiting on all this glue to cure. So we'll come back in tomorrow and test it. I'm sure everything will be okay. But what we're trying to do, we just want to make sure the customer gets taken care of. Now, one thing that we do that a lot of companies don't do, we do an engineering report. And it's funny because I actually got a call from the customer this morning, the actual new buyer for this house, saying, hey, look, we'd really like to find out, are we going to have to worry about foundation problems anymore? As you saw, we've already had foundation problems. So we'll do 2 different things. Number 1, we will have an engineer come in, do a complete engineering report, let us know how good they like it. But also we'll have the foundation company come in, look at everything we did to make sure they don't have a problem with it either. So anyway, always go out of your way to take care of your customer. And the floor is sweating, so it's... Guys, slab leaks and leak detection are 2 of the biggest problems that plumbers and plumbing companies face. The reason being, it's hard to know what's under there. But if you're honest with your customers and you're always keeping them informed as to what's going on, hey, we don't know if there's another leak. We know we can test up to here. That way they understand there may be more issues. We always hate to find other leaks, but it's something that happens sometimes. Now, what happens when foundation work is done? You lift everything. Well, the plumbing under the ground doesn't always get lifted. So things like this can happen. Anyway, keep your customers informed. Let them know what's going on and understand anytime there's foundation work done, they need to understand there may be plumbing problems. Also, anytime that we do a job like this, we let them know if you have foundation work done, we can't be responsible for any damages that are caused. I hope you enjoyed this and I hope you got a lot out of it. If you did, please subscribe, ring the bell, and share this with any homeowner you know that may have problems like this. I'm Roger Wakefield, Lead AP, the expert plumber. I'll see you in the next video if you don't get flushed.